سلام بچه خوش اومدید and welcome to this Monday stream of Las Plumas Humor. My name is Plumas and I'm going to be your host for the afternoon. Have a very much warm welcome, as warm as my tea is sitting right next to me, because today we have a stream I am the most excited about, because this stream has a long history with me, this topic, and as it's also in the title, we're not gonna say in Iran for this one, we're not gonna say in the Fertile Crescent, aka Mesopotamia. Today we are going beyond the borders of my comfort zone, although I might say sometimes Chinese mythology is much more my comfort zone than just other things that could seem closer, for example, Mesopotamian studies could be. So yeah, welcome everyone, and I hope you enjoy today's afternoon because it is exciting. I worked very hard on this topic and I worked very hard on this script to bring you possibly one of the most interesting things I covered on my thesis, because yes, this script is actually a script of bits and bobs, rearrange, re-decode, if you may, with my own doctoral research. And yeah, I'm just very excited. So yeah, I think there's so much introduction or forward for me to say. Just let's get right into it. Just let me quickly do one or two ticks in here. All right, we can just mute Crownland's thesis now because it's been enough of this lovely song, and we can go dive right into it. Oh my god, this is very exciting. Today we actually are looking at the sky, as that lovely song by Porter Robinson says, and we are, as I said, we are venturing far over the borders of Iran and the Persianate, and we are going to travel to China and fly up to the heavens to meet four of the most important mythological creatures in their cosmology. Hello, Naim June. Oh, thank you so much for that, Risu. Thank you, Azizam. Thank you so much. You subscribed for 7 months. Can I point 7? Actually, yes. 7 months. Oh, that's a lucky number, isn't it? The 7. Thank you so much, Azizam. Oh, I don't deserve you, do I? Thank you so much for your resubscription. Hi there, Hubi. So, what was I? I just lost track of. I lost it. Thank you, Naim June. I hope you're having a very lovely day. So, where was I? Oh yeah, today we are looking at 4 mythological creatures that are very much entangled with Chinese cosmology and cosmography. They are the Xiàng, the 4 guardians of the sky. I came acquaintance. Hello, Nicola. Hi. I came acquaintance with the Guardians during my PhD years, and actually, you know what? I should show you the Guardians already. Let me see, because I have, I kid you not, I have so many images to show you. And this is a lovely one. Oh my god, they're so great. Look at them. These are the Xiàng, the 4 guardians of the sky. As cool as that sounds. So, as I said, I came acquaintance with them during my PhD years, and I can proudly say that they are included in my thesis, although my main focus was just one of them, which I think you can quite guess already. And I was fascinated by them. I just could not stop reading more and more, diving deeper and deeper into the knowledge of the sky and the constellations in an area so distant from my own research, which is Iran. Or actually, so I thought, because turns out my approach was not that far off in the end. And I was a little self-conscious and a little bit concerned about this topic, because I am not a sinologist. In case you don't know, a sinologist is a historian, a person specialized in China and its study. And I am not. Tops, I am an Iranologist, which is a person specialized in Iran. Tops. And I'm not even sure that I can call that myself yet. But I have to say, even though I am not one of those, I contacted a very big share of sinologists during my research, and I had you're 100% in on this. Merci, thank you so much for the confidence that I sometimes lack on myself, because I had to make contact with the sinologists because there was so much to learn. And now I want to share a piece of that knowledge with you. A very, very little piece, to be fair, since the study of the Guardians is worth its own plethora of theses. And if I can be completely honest, I finally felt confident enough to speak about them thanks to my patrons. Big shout out to my patrons because they voted for this topic. If you support me on Patreon, one of the perks you get is getting to choose what's coming on this Twitch channel. So my patrons wanted so badly to see the Guardians. You should have seen the poll. It was unanimous. There was no excuses. There was no obstacles in the middle of that decision. They wanted to see the Guardians. Look, it's for the most famous characters appearing in multiple anime. Oh, good job, Loco. Yeah, actually the 4 Guardians. I don't have any, I am not going to cover any form of the 4 Guardians in modern media today because this stream is already long as it is. But yeah, thank you for noticing. I'm very happy you did. Oh, I really like these 4 tiles. I'm just so happy to have them here. This is actually happening. So yeah, my patrons were the ones who gave me that final push to speak about the Guardians, and I am 100% grateful because I am not sure if I would have made that decision by myself. And I am hoping you will enjoy the ride with me. Final previous remarks. I do not speak any kind of Chinese, nor Cantonese, nor Mandarin, none of them. So I ask for kindness and patience beforehand since it is possible that I butcher many words throughout the stream. It is not my intention to disrespect anybody with my lack of language skills, so I will be referring to the Guardians as politely as I can. Still bear with if you'd be so kind because I don't speak Chinese. Now, let's fly up to the heavens and please do welcome the Guardians with eyes open and clean hearts. They're sure going to be loving that. And I am going to show you actually, yeah, we could go with this one. We can go with this one. Hello, Typhoon. I'm so happy you could make it. Just made don't worry, just made the formal introductions, and I already highlighted that I speak 0 units of Chinese, so please spare me a thought. Have you tried using Photogor? It's a useful place to find foreign pronunciations. I actually have, and throughout the research, most of the sinologists told me how to pronounce these things, yet since A, this is not a bunch of words that I normally use, B, I did not have to read my thesis out loud, and at least not with Chinese people around, and Z, that was a long time ago. I do not quite recall, but it's a good shot. It's a good shot actually. So here they are, the 4 Guardians. There is great quantity of information about the 4 Guardians in Chinese mythology because they belong to a very specific area of Chinese cosmology, which is the study of the sky and the observation of stars. And that includes astronomy and astrology. Beforehand, it is important to know that in ancient China, there was not a difference between astronomy and astrology as done nowadays, but rather they included natural and occult sciences under the word Tianwen. And Tianwen encompasses the observation of the sky, the prognostication, astronomical instruments development, calendrical calculations, and cosmological theories creation. Those are just some of the activities that Tianwen implies and encompasses, which is a very big bunch. Chinese has a lot of tones and that makes it difficult to pronounce. It is a beautiful language, yet since it's tonal and I am not a native speaker of a tonal language, that can be tricky. It's very easy to mess up a tonal language like Chinese. Definitely, absolutely. That's the reason I am asking for patience. So before actually diving into the Guardians, we need to focus in something else, which is the sky. Do I have in here? Yes, I do. For some reason, my images shifted a little bit to the left, all of them. Anyway, there we have it. Don't worry, I will explain what this is in just a minute. And so first, I want to talk about the sky, the conception of the sky in Chinese mythology. The sky has been subject of fascination and study since very early in the history of China. They understood the universe as divided in 3 categories. First, we have Tian, which is heaven. Then we have Di, which is the earth. And then we have Ren, which is human. The 3 had to be in harmonious unity for the cosmos to keep working. And the emperor was regarded as a representative of heaven on earth. Do you know that song? Ooh, heaven is a place on earth. So in Chinese cosmology, that was taken literally. Therefore, the actions of the emperor and the celestial phenomena had mutual effects. At the same time, the sky was considered like a complete projection of the terrestrial world. And this is the reason why the stars were named after people of all classes, activities, utensils, or social institutions. Hello, Daiga. Hello, Kamran Hubi. Just came by to say hello. I'll listen to you later. Mushkelinist, that's completely fine, you know, as always. Why is my nose red? Anywho, does this mythology predate the King Qin dynasty? Yes, definitely. We are talking about millennia before Common Era. We are talking about the Xiàng dynasty, for example, to mention one of them, which is 1600s before Common Era. Just one of them. But don't worry, I'm going to give dates as I go. So around the first millennium before Common Era, Chinese astronomers grouped the stars that were visible to them in 280 constellations. Included among them, there were the 4 cardinal asterisms known since remote antiquity. And the oldest record of these stars is included in the Sangshu Yao Dian, the canon of Yao in the Book of Documents, which, according to some scholars, was compiled no earlier than the 8th century before Common Era, but which observations date back to 2300 before Common Era. So you can see how long these stars were under study. Some depictions on pottery and oracle bone inscriptions with the cardinal asterisms have been dated to the Yin period. Unfortunately, I do not have any images of them. And the Yin period is between 1300 to 1208 before Common Era. And I mentioned the 280 constellations. So, among them, included in the Chinese division, there were 28 different star groups encircling the sky, called the Shu, the lunar lodges. Peng Yoke, which is a scholar that knows incredibly much about this, and a lovely person, by the way, he believes that this division cannot be later than the second half of the 6th century before Common Era. That's when we actually have start having a date. These lunar lodges were of special significance in Chinese astrology and positional astronomy. What the hell is positional astronomy, Plumas? So, positional astronomy is the branch of astronomy used to determine the location of objects on the celestial sphere as seen at a particular time, date, and location. I bet you didn't know that was a thing before today, or maybe you did, I don't know, you tell me. Then the mythology seems to be saying that the Warring States era must be unnatural because there was no emperor in place, so the cosmos must be out of balance. That is a very good explanation, Loco. I really like how you follow in the thing. Yeah, possibly, I don't know because I haven't ventured into the mention of actual political events since I'm focusing on mythology here. But it would be very interesting reading about those, I reckon, at least for me. And so yeah, the Shu, they represented the resting places of the moon during its monthly journey through the sky. The earliest representation of these star association is found in this lacquer chest. This was found in a tomb in Hubei in central China. This box is dated 433 before Common Era, and the lid shows the ideograms of 2 creatures. 2 very interesting creatures we are gonna meet a little bit later, but this is one of the pieces I had to examine for my thesis, and it is incredible. There in the center, you can actually see the moon, and encircling the moon, there are inscribed the 28 lunar lodges with all its names, or their names, sorry. And there's another representation of these lunar lodges in another tomb, and it's positioned on the ceiling. But now we are going actually to meet them. We're going to get to know them. And we need, I reckon, another image of all of them together. Which one? As I said, I have like so many of them. Oh, what about, no, because this one's missing. This is missing one. Oh, this one. This is the modern 1800s, I think, if I'm not mistaken, modern map of the stars. But yeah, these 28 Xiù, they were divided into 4 groups of 7 lodges each, called the 4 images or the 4 palaces. And they were all associated with a cardinal asterism, a season, a kulu, a cardinal point, and a mythical beast. I'm going to show you later a piece, actually a extract of my thesis, because I had to do this table by myself. So the beasts were thought to be the magical guardians and the governors of the lunar circuit and their corresponding palace. And so, I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself. Let me rephrase this. These beasts were thought to be magical guardians and the governors of the lunar circuits, then their corresponding palace, and finally guardians of the complete sky. And there were the azure dragon of the west, King Long, the black warrior of the north, Shuang Wu, the white tiger of the east, Bai Hu, and the vermilion bird of the south, Zuke. The 4 guardians were strongly connected to the school of the Wu Xing, the 5 principles or the 5 types of qi, dominating at different times. The guardians were also associated with one of the 5 elements each, and the 5th element, the earth, was linked to a 5th creature, very important as well, but we're not going to talk about him today. But let me tell you that this creature was the yellow dragon of the center, Huanglong, and he was considered to be the incarnation of the yellow emperor, which is a pretty big deal in Chinese mythology. Let me show you the table so we can see what actually are we talking about. Where's my table? I've lost it? No, there it is. So here you have it. That's what is that? What is the oldest surviving source of our 4 heroes? The oldest surviving source of the all heroes, as you call it, is the Shangshu Yao Dian and the Canon of Yao in the Book of Documents. This is the oldest one. It was compiled in the 8th century before Common Era, but actually dates back to the 3rd millennium before Common Era. That is a fair lot. So as you can see, this is actually a table from my thesis. Appreciate it, okay? I want it to be appreciated because this is an extract of my doctoral research. So here we have it. When we have the tiger, whose color is white, the season is autumn, the cardinal point is east, and the element is the metal. And the warrior, the color is black, the season is winter, the cardinal point is north, and the element is water. The dragon, the azure color, the spring season, the west cardinal point, and the wood element. And then the guardian of the bird, which is vermilion color, summer season, south for the cardinal point, and fire. I loved doing this. And yeah, to the final, you can see the cardinal asterism that it was linked with in the Shangshu Yao Dian. And we have Tauri, Aquarius, Scorpionis, and Hydra. Or Hydra, como se diga, I don't know Greek nor Latin. Typhoon can give you a hand in here because I definitely don't know. So, fascinating. It is incredibly amazing, I know. So, what do you say? What do you say we meet one by one? What do you say we meet them properly as they are? Each and one of them. Which one do you want to start with? I'm going to give you that, you can choose which guardian you want to see or meet first. I have a lot of images of all four. So I always get like way too excited with images because that is one of the best things I think about Twitch, that can show you pictures. So there's a lot. You will excuse me. The dragon. You want to meet King Long. So are we all agreeing? Do we all agree with the dragon? Yes, we all agree with the dragon. Okay. So let's meet King. Well, no, actually, it would be Qin Long. Where do I have a good gist of him? Let's just go with this. This is actually a sarcophagus that my lovely Typhoon sent me the other day. And what is this? Oh, there you have it. So here we have him. Just this, in this sarcophagus, you are going to see the guardians accompanied by some human figures. They are not the guardians, the animals are. Who are these people? They could be a bunch of lots. They could be a variety of different characters. They could be just immortals, which is a way of addressing spirits and sacred ancestors in Chinese mythology. They could be representations of the Queen Mother of the West. Do not make me enter that, like, do not make me venture that place is a dangerous one, but there's a character whose name is the Queen Mother of the West, and yeah, it could be her, and it could be some dignitaries, but most of them are unidentified because this sarcophagus, these pieces normally are found decontextualized. We do not have an explanation close to them, and this is one of the reasons art history is important, because, for example, one of the things I did for my thesis was properly identifying Zuke, the Vermilion Bird, in different art pieces, because he was being confused and it was thought to be another Chinese bird. This bird, the latter, is Fan Huang, is a bird of the winds, and it is much more famous, and it's just thought that every single bird appearing in Chinese iconography is Fan Huang, when that is actually a mistake, since Zuke appears in a whole lot of art pieces and other birds as well. So this is what art history is for. This is why art history is valuable, because you can actually, from the art historical perspective, using mythology and art history, you can identify properly mythical creatures and give the pieces the importance they deserve. The style resembles the Buddha, possibly had something to do with it. I don't know that much on Chinese art history to tell you if it exactly was inspired by Buddha. Sorry about that, but Typhoon knows a lot, much more than me. So if you want to ask her a question, just feel free. Really sorry, throwing you to the lions in here, Typhoonism. So here we have Qin Long, or King Long. This is a dragon associated to azure or blue color, to spring and to the east. Sometimes the color of the dragon varies, for there is not a distinction between green and light blue. And this is something that occurs also in Iran, for instance, but we might speak about that some other time. The importance of King Long is actually older than its incorporation to the guardians, for it is one of the dragon deities that conform the Wufang Shangdi, the 5 regions of the highest deities. These 5 deities are the manifestations of the supreme god of heaven, Tian, which I mentioned already, and this belief dates back to the Xiàng dynasty. We're talking about the 1600 before Common Era. So let me show you some other King Long. We're gonna talk about these monuments later. So should I show it to you now? If I'm gonna mention it later, we shall wait. What about all these other 2 map? What about this one? I reckon you can see. I think you can, but if not, just tell me and I will point at him. Can you see the dragons, the twirling in the middle. So if you see there's like a center bulb that is white and the two dragons swirling symmetrically out of it. So that is one of the representations of King Long. Just if you don't see him, you tell me. So these 5 deities, these high supreme deities, you see them? Great. They are associated with the 5 colors, 5 phases of the continuous creation, and the 5 key planets of the solar system. And also 5 constellations rotating around the celestial pole. And 5 sacred mountains and 5 directions of space, their terrestrial form. The 5 dragon gods are the helpers, the ministers. They're not their pets, they're associates, both of them. So the dragons they're associated with, they represent the mountains, the moons they preside over. And King Long is a representative of Kangdi, the Azure deity. And despite the strong connection between the dragon and water in Chinese mythology, the Azure dragon's element is actually wood. So, let's just go back. So, let's go back to the table. Where is it? There you have it. Which one do you want to know now? Which one do you want me to introduce now? Oh yeah, they were the original Power Rangers. Go, go, Power Rangers. Na, 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 na. I was such a big fan when I was a kid. I should have used that. I think I'm going to do that to advertise the stream in Spanish. Thank you, Loco, so much. So, which one do you want to know about now? We've done the dragon. We have the tiger, the warrior, and the bird. The tiger. All right, so let's go meet Baihu. Where's Baihu? Baihu Azizam, we are actually waiting for you. There you are. Oh, I love this one. Same as before. He appears in a sarcophagus. There you have him. Oh, gorgeous smile. Gorgeous smile. So Baihu is the white tiger associated with the West, autumn, the element of metal, and as I said, the color white. The tiger held special relevance in Chinese mythology since it was considered the king of all beasts. Kind of similarly, they had the position that lions held in Mesopotamia, for example. You know, if you've been with us, or if you've seen the video of the Assyrian lion hunt, you knew that the lion was considered to be the supreme lord of all beasts on earth. The tiger was the equivalent in China. And it was considered also the most powerful creature on the surface of the earth. It was quite usual to see tigers represented in art showing the character of king on the foreheads. Baihu doesn't have that, but if you see sometimes in a Chinese art piece with a symbol on the forehead, that is a character for king. And the white tiger, however, was a creature of mystery and a respect because of its antiquity. The legends told that the tail of the tiger would turn completely white when they reached the age of 500 years old. Therefore, a completely white tiger would be a creature that had seen millennia pass before their eyes. Baihu is also a defender of peace. It was said that the white tiger would only appear when the emperor ruled with absolute virtue or if there was peace throughout the world. The association of the tiger with metal gained strong funerary significance. When, therefore, metal was placed in a grave, ceremonial connection with the tiger god was affected. According to the Chinese annals of Wu and Yue, 3 days after the burial of the king, the essence of the element metal assumed the shape of a white tiger and crouched down on the top of the grave. Here, the tiger is a protector, a preserver. To the Chinese, the tiger was the king of all animals and lord of the mountains, and the tiger jade ornament was very special, and it was specially reserved for commanders of armies. The male tiger, or the male tiger, was among other things the god of war, and in this capacity it not only assisted the armies of the emperors, but fought the demons that threatened their dead in their graves. So you see here that Baihu has a strong and powerful connection with the afterlife and the underworld. This one is one of the most interesting. I mean, I love the four of them, okay? So what is it going to be today? The warrior or the bird? The warrior comes with a twist. Oh, sorry, I forgot to put the table again. There we go. The bird seems interesting. I mean, of course it is interesting. All right, let's do Zuke. Let's do Zuke. Okay. I have a lot of pictures of Zuke, naturally, because in fact, Zuke was the one of the highest interest for my thesis, and I had a blast researching about them. And here we have Zuke, the Vermilion Bird of the South. It was associated with South, the summer, fire, and the vermilion, or like deep red, this calm, like carmine color. And the origin of the bird as a mythical guardian of the sky is actually unclear. The correlation of the stars of the Southern Palace and the figure of a bird is very ancient. It is registered in the Shangshu the name of bird-like star. To describe the star constellation, a lunar lodge of the Southern Palace, they say that it looks like a bird in flight. And then, a couple of centuries after, the historian Sima Qian, who lived between the 145 and the 90 before Common Era, he explained that these palaces' resemblance with the figure of the bird was, he actually was the one to put it, like, to write it down again, and explaining that the reason the constellation resembled the bird was because of the connection of the four guardians to the seven lodges. This is not a phoenix, Naim, because as I always, and I will always point out, the phoenix is a bird with particular and very precise mythological circumstances. That being, that he comes back, rebirths from its own ashes when it dies. Zuke does not die, and even though it has fire-like powers, it still doesn't pass away. This is an eternal creature, and it does not have the main characteristic of the phoenix, which is respawning from the flames and the ashes. So not in this case. Sometimes I don't know if you ask me that because you really want to know, you're curious, or just to tease me, but either way, I'm having it. So the artistic appearance of Zuke can be found, one of the earliest ones, in a tomb painted in the late 1st century before Common Era. And some authors state that Zuke was a product of imagination derived from Fanhuang, which is a sacred bird of the winds, based on the inscriptions that we preserve in oracle bones. That might lead to the conclusion that China originally just had one supernatural bird and the rest were just like derivations, just like, like versions of it. However, all the scholars, and I stand by this opinion, believe these four guardians, and particularly Zuke, were separate entities from the beginning. And given how ancient the sources are, and I don't have time to explain this, but just trust me with this that I'm saying, this Zuke and Fanhuang actually are very ancient and they are separate entities. So I don't think, as many other scholars do, that they were just connected at first. Like Fan Huang was the matrix of all of it, and then they spawned different birds. I really don't think so. I have learned a lot from streams. Me too now, thank you. I am gonna show you all the representation of Zuke, and we are gonna talk about the 4 guardians in Hold, don't worry, but I wanted to show you this. These actually, I just remembered, I have a drawing of these. This is a door from a funerary complex, and this is at the Metropolitan Museum of New York. And I actually worked with these pieces when I was there. Shout out to the Metropolitan people, amazing people. Oh, I had a blast working with them, and they were just so lovely. I'm just lost in my memories now. I just remember that I have a drawing of this figure, in which maybe you can see it better. Do you want me to fetch it? Are you okay with this? You want to see it? Sure, I think it's somewhere close. Ugh. I just organize everything. Yeah, this is my research notebook, and this is my drawing notebook, because I do draw everything. Oh, look! Oh, wait, I'm actually gonna change the view for a moment. So this is actually the tile you saw before. Let me just real quick. This is a tile you saw before. I'm gonna show you. There you have it. This is a tile that I used to advertise the stream, and to this side, where are you? I remember it was a chunky drawing. There we have it. There you can see the drawing of Zuke, which, fun fact, at the time I also thought it was Fan Huang because of the location. As you can see in here on the drawing, that is the door it was located, and I call it Fan Huang. It's not Fan Huang. Further research, that's a reason why research does not stop. Further research show that this bird is actually the Vermilion Bird of the South, and you can see all the tiny details in the tail, which were amazing. And yeah, a couple of details in here. There was a peony that accompanies, and you had the claws and everything, and the talons. Thank you so much. It took me a long while to draw. Oh, I'm out of focus, sorry. Focus on me. I always think of Ariana Grande when I say that. I am not on focus yet. There we have it. It actually took me a long time to draw this, and I remember there were people standing and just standing next to me as I was drawing. This was pre-COVID times, okay? This was 2019, I reckon. Yes, it was 2019. I'm still not on focus, am I? You know what? I am saving up to get autofocus camera. That would be amazing. I don't know if I can't see anymore. I don't think I am. Focus on me. Enfóquese. Le pido. Ahí estamos. I think my camera is Spanish. That's the reason it reacts when I talk to them. Merci, Chesum. Hastenaushit. So, where were we? Down in the... I'm really happy you like my drawing. My nose is so red for some reason that I cannot fathom. Excuse me. So I wanted actually to show you another one, but I think... Oh yeah, the sarcophagus one. And here we have the one with the sarcophagus. Oh, thank you for that follow, Rapaxius. See, there you can see Azuke, and this is actually a very expressive representation of it. And I'm always very excited. Again, thank you, Typhoon, for sending me this or for sharing it in your stories on Instagram. I actually don't know how I came across it, but I love it. I really, really like it. It's a sarcophagus dating, I think it's from the 6th century before Common Era. And it's very detailed and it's rich in its representation. And it's one of many art pieces we have with the 4 guardians together, because even if I am separating them to tell you a little bit about each one, they cannot be conceived separated because they are 4 and they guard and watch over the 4 cardinal points, the 4 seasons. And if you know a little bit about Chinese mythology, you would be familiar with the concept of balance, equilibrio. You know, how do you say equilibrio? How do you say equilibrio in Persian? I have no idea, but if you know, please type it. So this balance is one of the reasons you can see them all together in art. But we're not going to get ahead of ourselves, because there's the 4th. Last but not least, there we have the Black Warrior of the North, Shuang Wu. And yes, I said the Black Warrior and not the Black Tortoise because this is its name, the Black Warrior of the North. It is connected to the element of water, color black, and winter. And the snake has its explanation, don't worry. Tortoises, not turtles, tortoises and their shells had an aura of unchangeability and longevity, and so did the snake in Chinese mythology. When paired together, they represent the passing of time and the experience gained through the years, and they embody the respect for the past and for the elders, and they were a symbol of status when placed in robes and court clothing. At the same time, the shell appears to be some kind of armor, and therefore the Black Warrior is also associated with armies, commanders, and high ranks. Let me show you another picture of Shuang Wu. There we have it, of Shuang Wu. And actually, to be completely strict, the guardian is a tortoise, and the snake acts like a catalyzer of its power. It's sort of the trigger that activates the power of Baihu and complements it and completes it in a way. What else? What was I saying? Oh, now, there is more to this pair, and the reason why we call it them warrior. The tortoise is also regarded as an immortal creature. The ancient Chinese thought there were no male tortoises. Don't ask me why, because I really don't know. I couldn't find an explanation for that. But they really thought there were not male tortoises. Thus, the female had to mate with a snake. Don't ask me how. And thus, the tortoise embracing a snake became the protector symbol of the North. But, since the word tortoise was taboo in Chinese, it was referred to as the Black Warrior, the Dark Warrior. Now, why on earth would it be taboo to say tortoise in Chinese, which I am not going to attempt? So the original name of this guardian was Zen Wu, but was changed to avoid a taboo on the name of the Song imperial ancestor, Zhao Xuanlang. And it was taboo because of political, historical context. It was only prohibited after the Song dynasty, was disgraced by the past and the acts of their ancestors. Therefore, they managed to change the name of a mythological creature that dates back to the 3rd millennium before Common Era. Why? Because political affairs. Because history is fascinating. Is it not? I find it super interesting. I could not believe this was the reason Shuang Wu was changed names. But apparently it was. I wanted to dive a little deeper into it, but the script, as I say, is already long as it is. So now what we are going to see is examples of architecture and decoration where they appear. And to do that, I want to start with bricks and doors in funerary context. And actually, there is a tomb in Korea. But no, actually, we're gonna start with another one. We're gonna start with the one in Chengwanzhen, which is more ancient. And I'm gonna move it. I don't know why all my images are shifted to the left. Sort of touch something. So here we have, this is a drawing, of course, not a picture of a tomb. So from the Han Dynasty, we're talking about the 200 before Common Era to the 200 Common Era. The four guardians were strongly linked to palatial and funerary architecture. They were placed at the cardinal directions, creating a composition that englobed the cosmos surrounding the deceased. The most common place for zuke, for example, was on doors or lintels pointing the south. And this bird was sometimes placed on commemorative bricks located above the entrance. Do you remember that I thought that bird, the one I drew, was Fan Huang? It's because I was seeing the construction out of context. I needed the whole complex around me to realize that yes, on this door there was a bird, but on the other there was a tortoise, on the other was a dragon, and on the final one was a tiger. Would I have seen those animals, I would have realized, it would have clicked with me that these animals I was seeing, it was not Fan Huang, but zuke. Reason number gazillion why archaeological evidences should not be split. And sometimes museums, even if they do a great job of preservation, they do not quite understand the rest, the archaeology of it. And it was dismembered, the complex was dismembered. And see, it led to my confusion. So it could lead to confuse any other person in the room because it was not actually identified, the bird. It just said bird on the tiny sign close to it with its auspicious bird. But in China, believe me, there are at least 15 auspicious birds. Fan Huan, zuke, luan, the crane, the nightingale, and the heron. All of those are auspicious birds. The rooster, I'm gonna stop. And this is one of the oldest examples related to funerary architecture, and this is found at the tomb of Chengwanzhen. Sorry for the mispronunciation. And this is dated on the year 20 Common Era. And the carved stone bricks, they show a paired zuke. Can you see? All right. Can you see? I guess you can see zuke, but can you see Baihu and King Long? Can you see the dragon? And can you see the tiger? I'm thinking it's something easy to see, but because I've seen this image so many times, I feel so long to study it. So apologies if you cannot see it. You're not stupid and you're not blind. It's just you're not familiar with it, as I am. So zuke, we see the top, the top row, we have starting from the left. Is this the left? Yeah, starting from the left, we have the dragon facing the tiger. They are a pair. And then we have, if we move, there's a central figure. And if we move rightwards, we have two paired birds. Those two paired birds are zuke, which normally appears paired up. And the dragon and the tiger, they have a very long tradition of being represented together as a as a couple, as a pair of counterparts, because one of them is the east and the other one is the west. And because of the drill of the place from where the sun rises and the sun sets. Actually, I'm going to show you again the box. Right. Hello! I come only today to say hello. Today I have a lot to celebrate and my Plumas anniversary is an important one. Blue Mondays, I was less blue with Plumas. Thank you, Azizam. Thank you so much. Oh, you're a bless. You are a bless. Thank you so much. And I really hope that your celebrations continue as wonderfully as they should. Thank you so much, Nosotros. 17 months supporting this channel. I could not be here without you. Thank you. Cheers to you, by the way. Cheers to nosotros, my vizier. So do you remember this lacquer box? Actually, the shapes that we can see here, to the left, we have King Long, the azure dragon. And to the right, we have Baihu, we have the white tiger. No, you're going to tell me, Plumas, that does not look like a tiger, blah, blah, blah. Bear with it, okay? It is the tiger, and if it was not clear enough for the shape and for the context, it is written on the box, okay? So on the top of the box, it is engraved in the lacquer. It says Baihu, white tiger. So there you have it. Where were we? Oh yeah, in the tomb. Here. Actually, there's another creature that is of interest in here, who is a Taotier. The Taotier is, do you see the heads with the ring that Zuke, Baihu, and King Long are standing on? Those are actually faces of Taotiers. And the Taotier, they are 4 Chinese mythological evil creatures opposed to the 4 guardians, and they are insatiable in greed and appetite, and they were commonly depicted in bronze vessels for the association with the act of ingesting. So there you have it. The Taotier is in there as well. And also we have the guardians together, and the sarcophagus that I showed you before. Here, all right, it's very complicated. Let me see if I can point it properly to you. So you see, you told me that you could see. Oh, this is actually going to be impossible. Let me see if I can get another image where you can actually see it better, because I have one, and I don't know. Yeah, this was actually much better. All right. Let me just real quick. Soon may the wellerman come to bring us sugar and tea and rum. Where is the picture that I just saved? Oh, here. There we, yeah, this is much better actually. Let me just, I'm gonna crop it for you to see it. I don't know why didn't I put this one. So we have a tile, ahí está. Okay. So here there's a drawing of the sarcophagus, and I think in here you will be able to see much better the guardians, at least 3 of the 4. So we have the pearl dragon in the center, and we have actually the tiger and the bird crouch between, you know, the body of the dragons describes an S, a very pronounced S, and downward there in that part that is wider open, we have Zuke to the right and Baihu to the left. Baihu it was white, okay? It was white, but it's not white anymore, it's blackish. And in the drawing, Zuke is in a shade of green and yellow. Can you see them? If not, I cannot draw on here, can I? If you can't see it, let me know and I will just quickly poop. So here and here. I think that will do. Well, if not, we can always change to another image. But here we have them in a sarcophagus all together. And this is a sarcophagus of Lady Dai Ho, who died in 186 before Common Era. And Zuke and Bai Hu appeared entwined with a dragon on the side. But can you repeat who was the one on the left? Yes, the one on the left is Bai Hu, is the tiger. I'm gonna actually try to point it. I think I can if I open it like this, and I can actually point with my mouse. Just hold on a moment. Anything as is mushkelinist. Why wouldn't you close? Just give me a moment, dearest. There we go. So this is my screen actually. So here we have Bai Hu, which is a tiger. This is the little head on the claws and the rest of his body. Here is the azure dragon, the paired azure dragon, and here we have Zuke, the bird. Where is the tortoise? The Chinese was kind of confused. The Chinese were kind of confused when drawing tigers. And you have not seen the ones in Korea. It's just, it's gorgeous. I mean, I'm not making fun of anyone. They are amazing. And so yeah, we're going to see them now. Another kind of representation was in mural paintings inside tombs. One of the best preserved examples, it is not in China, but in South Korea, at the Great Tomb of Gangseo. And sorry for the pronunciation, I do not speak Korean either. I speak Spanish and Persian, kind of, and English, so you will excuse me. And this is believed to be painted towards the end of the 6th century. And we have, let me show you the tiger first. Oh, I love him. I really like him. This is Bai Hu. This is the tiger. And it's amazing. This is the tiger and it's amazing. This is the white tiger of the West. And then we have, here we have the black warrior. Then here we have the azure dragon. Oh, I love him. And where's Zuke? Where is Zuke? Oh, here. Here we have Zuke. Wait. And here we have Zuke. I think these are my favorite representations of the Guardians, and they're not in China, they're in Korea. So I think I'm gonna stick with the tiger for a moment because I really like it. So this is gorgeous. This is just perfect. This is just perfect. I love it so much. So the practice of depicting the Guardians on bricks and lintels pointing to the respective cardinal directions decayed a little after the fall of the Han Dynasty. Nevertheless, several examples are preserved and they date from the following centuries, from the Southern dynasties or over the Tang. And the maintenance of this decoration may suggest that the popularity of the motifs was still, that they were trendy. Still, and even if their symbolism was overlooked, they still looked good in decoration. Just like these, in the research of Dr. Psarras, in their research, the decorative programs at the tombs of different parts of China, they established that the iconography associated with particular direction was not necessarily located in the expected position. That means that the guardians had a standard position. For example, Baihu should be pointing to the west all the time, but variations occurred often. And when you see the guardians, actually, you can find them pointing at different directions, even though if they are supposed to be looking to the south, to the north, to the east, sometimes they're not actually placed where they should. And that indicates that they were regarded as valuable from a decorative point of view. They were aesthetically pleasing and they were popular, but maybe the importance they held centuries prior to the Han Dynasty was not such anymore, yet they coexisted with other motives, and they, even if they decayed in importance, they were still regarded as relevant for the decorative programs in China and Korea, for example. And I love this one. And sometimes the motives of the guardians were combined and mixed in some examples of doors. For example, Zuke did not appear at panels or doors that were strictly pointing south. On breaks, some of the examples are decontextualized, as I said before, and it is difficult to know if they were actually over the door that indicated the south, or maybe they were pointed to another direction. Sometimes the bricks are found on the ground, so it's impossible to guess. Not impossible, it's quite tricky to guess where the original position of the brick was. And some of the examples that I showed you, they were produced in considerable distance from the Han Dynasty in both period, time, and geography. But these draws, I believe, two conclusions. The first is that the motive of the four guardians trespassed the frontiers of the Han Empire and traveled to neighboring areas. And the second is that the practice of including the four guardians in architecture was well established and it had strong significance among the Chinese. I said before that they are not, let me show you these beautiful tiles together again. They were not supposed to be separated. They had to be together in order to be understood. And the reason why sometimes we cannot quite place the guardians is because of this, because they appear separated. And the animals per se, the bird, the tortoise, the dragon, especially the tiger, they had by themselves a strong importance in mythology. So if we see one of these, for example, not one of these round tiles, if we don't see it accompanied by the other four, it is quite difficult to guess that we are dealing with a guardian in our case study. And once more, this is the reason why our history is valuable, because it helps us see these connections and make further and new connections. And I'm just really passionate about this topic, okay? And other place where these guardians are found are mirrors. To be precise, the back of mirrors. I'm gonna show you a beautiful one where you can see them. Especially with tigers, those were not tigers. As these they le echaron ganas. Le echaron ganas. They tried their best, I'm pretty sure. So, the medium in which the guardians were most often displayed are the so-called Tlv Bronze Mirrors. And actually this Tlv name comes from the symbol resembling letters. This is not a Tlv mirror yet, but let me show you another one, which is this one. Yeah, this one is a Tlv, and they are beautiful, but definitely not tigers. And the name comes from the symbol resembling, the letters T, L, and V engraved in them. These mirrors were most common during the Han Dynasty, and some scholars have drawn attention to the similarity between the decoration and the marks found in another two groups of mystical objects, the Diviner's Board, or Xi, and the Liubo Board. I've mentioned the lunar lodges. Were you coping? Are you still with me? Because we have some divinance to do here. The lunar lodges and consequently the four guardians were of vital importance for positional astronomy, which was strongly associated with divination practices and linked with these two objects. First, we have, do I have a picture of the diviner's board? I think I do. The must have, yeah. What's that? Rashid Khanum Mualem. I have to go to my next class, but may the 4 be with you. May the 4 be with you. I love that. Can we make actually a thing? Oh, I really like that. Oh. I don't think I have the picture. Wait. Do I have? It should be here. You know what? I have so many pictures that I think some of them were just misplaced. Wait. Oh, there's something I can't show you? Why? Vaisa. I want to show you this one. Actually, I can show it here. Segundo, just wait a second. There we go. This is actually my thesis. See, in here we have the diviner's board, and actually here you can actually see the T, V, and L marks. And the marks of heaven is the blue one, and the earth is a square. So there you have it. So first we are gonna see the diviner's board, and this board, or she, was an instrument that represents a schematic vision of the world and the universe. It was used for astrocalendric calculation and allowed the user to situate their location in relation to the movements and trends of the cosmos in the hope to obtain benefit from it. And it was built in 2 pieces: the heaven plate, which we can see, the heaven plate, which we can see here, is a round one, and then the earth plate in here is a square one, and the top round disc, which is this one, had the 20, the lunar lodges and the 12 months of the year, and here what we have marked in the board is the Tiangan, the heavenly stems and the earthly branches. All of them are symbols to give directions, to point at directions. And then we have the Liuba board. That was a 2-player game that was popularly used as divination, somehow used for divination in China from the 14th century before Common Era onwards. That means it's ancient. And the example found, there is an example found in 1993 in a tomb in Jiangsu, but I don't have a picture of it. The thing is, the marks on the Liuba board and the Diviner's board were a schematic representation of the universe. And these were elaborated in terms of the yin yang and the 5 principles theory. Some hand texts explain the importance of these instruments and how they were thought to reflect the earthly and heavenly realms. The universe, thus, was turned into something humans could manipulate to their own advantage if they studied enough to know its mechanisms and secret affairs. Then, the decoration of the Tlv mirrors compressed the cosmos, encapsulated the cosmos. The square in the center represented Earth, and the circular shape on the object represented the heavens, as you can see in the image. And the usage of the Liuba board design was intended to prevent the invasion of evil spirits, which is confirmed by the inscriptions found in other examples. The 4 guardians were incorporated into the decorative program of Tlv mirrors as reference to the 5 principles. They were arranged. Actually, I need to zoom in this one because it's very difficult for you to see them if you don't know what you're looking for. So here, if I find one here, we have Shuang Wu, we have the turtle here, the tortoise. You know that sometimes it's very tricky for me to say turtle and tortoise because there is no difference in Spanish, yet there is a difference in English. We just say tortuga and we mean both. The one that lives in the water and the one that lives on land. But we say tortuga. And so here, I hope you can see it. Here we have I'm sorry, I'm mistaken completely. It's been a while since I looked at you, isn't it? All right, so here's a tiger. Here we have Baihu. Then we have the dragon over here. Yes, we have the dragon over here. Here we have Zuke, and here we have the turtle with the tortoise. What's gotten into me? The tortoise and the snake encircling its body. I have some other mirror examples that I want to show you. Give me just a moment. Well, we have this one, which is much clearer, but it's not exactly a TLV mirror. And then I think I already showed you this one. Oh yeah, this one is actually the one I just showed. And yeah, that's it. I think I just got it down. Sorry, that was loud. So, So yeah, the 4 guardians were incorporated and they were arranged around the central knob, which is the 5th element in the design. Do you remember that there was a 5th creature, the yellow dragon at the center? The knob in the middle is the thing represented that 5th element that completes the scheme. And the participation of the guardians in the mirrors decoration is emphasized by the inscriptions found in some of the examples. They stress the importance of the tiger and the dragon as representations of paradise and the function of the bird and the warrior in maintaining the balance between yin and yang, which they respectively embody. And I think, if I am not entirely mistaken, I believe this is the end of our stream today. This is the end of our presentation. And finally, the only final remark that I want to make is, again, that these 4 creatures were of extreme popularity. And I think Uloko said it before. They appear in a very vast collection of animes and mangas. So you can really see how alive they are. In fact, I've seen a lot of tattoos of these 4 during this collection of images, and I really like that they are being reborn somehow in modern media. I would have loved to include just a little bit of them in other platforms, but as you feel, the stream was long enough, and I'm just very excited that I got to tell you about them. I hope that you have enjoyed the ride. I hope that today you discovered something you did not know before, and that's basically it. It's my greatest pleasure to have spoken about them. So final round of applause to the azure dragon of the east, the white tiger of the west, the vermilion bird of the south, and the black warrior of the north. I really hope, Bacha, that you've enjoyed the stream. Thank you so much for staying with me. I've had a blast. And thanks again to my patrons for choosing this stream and kind of to push me out of my comfort zone that sometimes is a little bit too tight, and I am self-conscious on bringing you certain topics. But as you can see, I did my fair load of research, and I researched a lot this topic when I was researching my thesis as well, and I just wanted to talk about them because I found them fascinating. Thank you for staying with me. Thank you so much to the new people that has followed, and thank you to the people who subscribe. You keep this machine going. Thank you so much for that. And I thank you, Typhoon. I'm really glad you liked it. Thanks for the class as always. muele plumas in jai. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed the stream, and thank you to my patrons for choosing the topic and for supporting me as always. I am nobody without them, and yeah, hopefully I will see you next week at the same time for, what do we have next week? I think it's another reading for Xiàng, but I'm not quite sure. Anyway, thank you for staying here with me. I hope you have a lovely rest of the day, afternoon, evening, whatever time zone you live in. And see you on Wednesday. Yes, we'll see each other on Wednesday for something else. Something else happening in Spanish. It's a presentation of a book that I have a chapter. I contributed with a chapter to the book on history of Zoroastrianism, but that is in Spanish and it's going to happen in Spain. So not for these audience. Anyhow, thank you so much, Bacha. You make me very happy. I'm really glad I spent this Monday with you speaking about the 4 creatures that I like so much in Chinese mythology. They're probably my favorites in the whole bunch that is Chinese mythology. And as we always say, remember to create, to explore, and to have loads of fun. Until I see you the next time, I tell you, Khodafis, and have a very good Monday. Apparently today was the Blue Monday, but I don't believe those things. So yeah. Anyhow, Khodafis.